Salam, it's Jimmy from ERS. Today we're going to discuss the best clutch to suit your Evo. As you can see behind me, today we're going to discuss XCD clutches to suit Evo because they are my favorite clutch. What I do want to make clear is we're not paid by XCD to do this video. I'm not even sponsored by XCD. I've tried many times because I love the clutch, I love the brand, and we're not affiliated by them in any way. I'm not even a dealer for XCD. I buy it through a dealer. So I've been using XCD for 15 years. I've tried almost every other brand clutch, from Australian brands, American brands, Japanese brands, in the last 15 or so years on street Evos, track Evos, and we've broken it down to what's best is one of these three. This is a very important topic because I get asked almost every day. I see posts online, I get asked, I get customers questioning, you know, I've got this clutch, I already bought it, or which one would you put in my car? My mate has this. So we broke it down to three options, which I want to show you. And the short answer is really, for the most common question, what's the best clutch for my Evo? There is no best clutch. There's the best clutch to suit your power, to suit your application, to suit the way you drive, and again, to suit the gearbox as well. So is it a Synchro gearbox, is it a dogbox, sequential? So yeah, these are the things we'll discuss in today's video. I hope it's educational. Again, I'm doing this genuinely because I love this topic and I've worked so hard to come to the point of the last few years of just using these three options. So hopefully it helps you. So I'll get straight into the differences between single, twin plate and triple plate clutches, and obviously what's best for you. So I'll start with the single plate. So this is a standard OEM XCD replacement clutch. This standard clutch made by XCD was actually what Mitsubishi had in all their Evo models. Between Evo 1 to 10, they had just the standard organic XCD clutch. Soft pedal, very easy to drive, handles standard power, even a bit more power. A lot of guys, when they wear out this standard clutch in their Evo, they always opt to go better, which actually is a very, very good clutch. We used to do that as well. We used to opt to go to like a heavy duty single plate, which, please, if anyone has a heavy duty or is looking to buy a heavy duty or HD single plate XCD clutch, I would stay right away. Please don't buy them. Please don't install them in your Evo. That's my opinion. If your mechanic or other people disagree, I understand, but I've had too many problems with the HD clutches. We found that the XCD OEM single plate clutch was good for anyone with a standard Evo, that their clutch just got worn out because it is a wear and tear item, so you can't expect it to last forever. When it wears out, we replace it with the standard replacement XCD clutch with an organic disc, and then we machine the factory flywheel. Now, with the factory flywheel, as you can see here, I'll pull it out so you can have a look. This is just a used XCD single plate. They come brand new in these boxes. This flywheel here, as you see, it's not machined or anything. It's got a bit of wear and tear on it. These are fine if you've got standard power, even up to like 250 kilowatt, or if you want to call it 300 horsepower. It's fine to do that if it's more of a street car, not going to get abused on the track or launching. The downside with these flywheels and why these clutches start to slip when you add power, usually over 250 kilowatt or after a lot of Ks, is you'll see burn marks. See, they're starting to get a bit purple here. This one doesn't show a lot, but usually you'll get burn spots because the thickness of this plate here gets too thin, and from factory they're too thin. So for any Evo that's between, let's just say 200 to 320 kilowatts, so between 250 to 400, 450 horsepower, and we're not going to go with a twin plate because it's a street car, he's going to drive it more on the street, he's not going to go to the track, and he's got a standard Synchro 6-speed box or 5-speed box. We go towards a organic clutch kit, OEM replacement, XCD. We don't go to a heavy duty, but we upgrade the flywheel to a thicker billet flywheel, which I don't have in this video. It's made in Australia. It's made by MPC. We get them ordered in. They're just, all they are is the same weight, but thicker material. So that way the flywheel surface area doesn't sink and kills the clutch. So you see a lot of mechanics will probably know this, or even Evo guys, if you pulled out your own single plate clutch, when it's worn out on an organic disc, you'll see that the edges, you can actually even see it in this one, the edges start to die before the inside of the clutch, because it's only using this outer edge a lot, and it kills the clutch that way. So you can imagine like your tire hitting, if you've got a lot of camber on your tire, or you know, your brake pads on a disc, it's only using that surface area, not the whole thickness. You're going to kill the clutch, or it's just not going to hold the power. So if you've got the right flywheel and a good pressure plate, which factory pressure plate is fine. We've made 400 horsepower with that combo. Standard clutch, billet flywheel, 400 horsepower all day in a standard Synchro box. Perfect combo if you don't want to go to a twin plate. Now, the next question is, when should you go to a twin plate? And when is it important, and what's better in twin or triple compared to single? It's obviously dependent on the power, application, and your gearbox as well. Evos, everyone assumes when you add power, oh, my gearbox is going to break, my 6-speed's going to let go, my gears are going to start crunching, my 5-speed's going to break, I need to go to a dog box, I can't have 400, 450 kilowatt because my box is going to blow up. I straight away tell those customers, yes, power will increase a bit of harm to the driveline, but the most important is when you add power and you've got a very aggressive clutch, like, you know, your puck clutches or push type twin plates and triple plates, or heavy duty singles and twins and triples, it's got too much shock load. So choosing the wrong clutch when you add power, it's going to destroy your driveline. You see people break diffs and transfers and boxes because the clutch has too much shock load. As soon as they want to let go or launch it, it doesn't have much slip and it breaks something, because all-wheel drive has got a lot of traction. So what we noticed over the years is having a soft pedal, having a clutch that has slippage, or you could ride it out more on a takeoff or even in between shifts, so the driveline's not banging, which comes in a lot of the, doesn't matter where they're made, but a lot of the push type clutches or aggressive discs that have like a lot of puck material or brass material, it just wants to break everything. As well, depending on the pressure plate being a heavy duty, at high RPM, you get something called lockout. So lockout harms the Synchro over time when you're force-setting gear. So making sure that you've got the right clutch helps the driveline last. So this is a Exceedy twin plate. Now Exceedy have two versions. They have a SD and a HD, which apparently they're discontinuing the HD. This is an SD twin. The SD twin is one of our favorite, again, for anything up to 600 horsepower. It's very reliable and efficient. And this SD twin, which is a soft damper twin, it's called, they are super reliable on standard Synchro boxes if you've got that extra power. So usually over 300 kilowatt, or when you start making a lot of, more than 400 horsepower, we opt to go to a twin plate. We use these, sometimes we use the ORCs because they are a nice soft damper as well on the pedal. And again, at high RPM, you don't get much lockout or almost no lockout. And you've got a lot of slippage, and it's a soft pedal. Because they stay with the pull type over the push, which I prefer all the time in an Evo, it's the pedal feel stays the same, but you've just got more clamp, and it's easier to modulate that clutch pedal rather than a push type, which is a lot of the times, every time we've driven a push type clutch, depending on the brand, it's more on and off. So choosing a twin plate is important when you start adding the power. If you're going to circuit race or drag race, it has an extra disc in there, so it lasts a bit longer. But again, it's not necessary to go up to that if you're not going to obviously use that power or use the car for that application. A lot of the times we go twin as well when we start to change to a dog box or sequential, depending on the power again. So onto the triple plate. Again, this is a big clutch for an Evo. We love the Exceedy triples, nice to drive. They are a HD as well. So whether twin or triple, you can get HD and SD. With the triple, sorry, it's HD. Now, these awesome for like anything, again, over 600 or 800 horsepower. Usually we put these in when you go dog box or sequential. They're a bit too heavy. There's a lot of clutches, a lot of weight. For a Synchro box, we find on and off the throttle and shifting gears, you're just gonna hurt the car. So a triple plate or a twin HD, we go when it's a dog box sequential. We also upgrade the clutch clip. So this This technology with the clutch clip was made by Exceedi or Mitsubishi design for the pull type bearing or pull type system. We upgrade on the twins and triples mainly to a monolock. ACT made this combo. They're cheap insurance. Also, when you've got this heavy damper, this is almost like a must do, so that the bearing doesn't pop off. Most people would know that. So that's one thing we change. A lot of the times, people find they run out of this clutch, especially when they're drag racing or a lot of power in roll racing cars. Again, we've pushed them to 12 to 1500 horsepower with a bit of modification. So we actually do like locally here in Australia, we do with our clutch company, Western Clutches, and we do a modification to the pressure plate to have more clamp so we can add more power. So I've pushed this triple plate Exceedi to 1500 horsepower. They hold up. Now when you start launching is when, again, as most drag Americans or Australians or anyone around the world, when you got a drag Evo and you're going to launch, clutch is one thing that just gets hammered. So in the background, not Exceedi, we're testing a couple of big drag clutches, a few different other brands, which I'll make a separate video in the future once I have more data, because these we've done so much with them and we know enough about them. So that's what we do with the triple. I don't want to dwell too much into that because that's practically covered there. One clutch that I want to show, again, not to bag out, but this is just our opinion. This is an Exceedi single plate HD with the shiny cover. Again, this is what we don't use. As you can see, it's pretty new. I pulled it out of a car. This is another Exceedi, like a 4-puck type of clutch. Good for circuit racing. Again, if you've got a dogbox sequential, you can probably put up with that because you're not worried about the lockout. But these are just not recommended in my opinion. This is a bell housing. Every time we've seen, and a lot of guys would see on 6 speeds and sometimes in 5 speeds, the ears for the fork break off on Evo boxes when they're a factory housing. These ones are still good, but these ears break off, and every time they've broken off on an Evo, we found that the clutch was a HD, so maybe it just puts too much load or it weakens it. But this is what I don't recommend, and we try not to use them unless it's a race application. People can drive around having a bad clutch, but you just have to do a lot more driving, and it's more work on the driver to not break the driveline or harm the driveline on a bad clutch. When you've got the right clutch, something that's helping the driver drive it hard or smoothly under load, it just makes life easier. So it's less risk on hurting something or banging a gear or having that lockout issue. So I hope this video has helped you guys to again, just to elaborate, single plate is best if it's like more of a street car with power or standard power. If you've got more power than standard, up to 400 horsepower, you can upgrade the flywheel to a billet flywheel. We sell all of these clutches in-house all the time because obviously we love Exceedi. Twin SD for standard Synchro boxes, up to 600 horsepower. Twin HD for anything between 600 to 800 horsepower for dogbox or sequential. And then a triple plate Exceedi HD for anything from standard power with dogbox or sequential, all the way up to 1000 plus. And then again, if it's a street car, roll racing car, it'll last you for a long time. If you are going to drag race with this clutch, just remember, it can only take so much launches and it can only handle so much power under that much heat. So until we test out the big drag clutches, we still use these for most of the cars. I've got a car here, the number plate's absurd. It makes 1200 horsepower with a sequential Exceedi triple with our modification, and like it drives like stock. It's a bit heavier than standard, but like modulation, shifting gears, on and off the throttle, in and out of traffic, it's nice to drive. Same as the twins and the singles we do. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this has been educational for most of the Evo guys, because it is a very common topic even up to now. It's always been there for the last 10, 15 years and maybe more, but I hope this video has helped. If you do have any questions about what's the best, again, to suit your application and power, hit us up. We've always got these in stock, and we also have tried and sometimes use other brands depending what it is. So thanks for watching, guys. Salam.